following appointments to the executive.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced his new coalition cabinet, including a job for the leader of what was the largest opposition party, the Democratic Alliance.
The Minister of Agriculture is John Steenhuisen.
Hello, how are you doing? Welcome.
Ramaphosa's African National Congress was forced to join with rival parties to stay in power after losing its parliamentary majority for the first time in 3 decades in a May 29th election. And Sunday's announcement has followed weeks of protracted and at times acrimonious negotiations. Political analyst and former South African diplomat Melanie Verwoerd said what had emerged was a major shake-up with very few of the old faces still in there.
Like John Steenhuisen in agriculture, I don't know what he knows about agriculture apart from that you buy chickens in supermarkets. But I do understand why the DA fought for that. I think it's because they want to get some of the Freedom Front voters. That's one of the few growth points still for the DA.
Freedom Front is a smaller party with its base in white Afrikaans-speaking voters. The markets, which had welcomed inclusion of the business-friendly DA in South Africa's coalition government, responded favourably to the new cabinet. South African assets rose sharply on Monday. Some investors, however, said the gains were likely short-lived, as it would take time for the new government's agenda and performance to become clear. The reaction on the streets of Johannesburg was more mixed. While some welcomed the diverse and inclusive makeup of the executive, others, like Gomelemo Utemeleng, questioned the mix of different people with different philosophies.
I'm not really confident about it, but then they say the people of South Africa have spoken. Is that what they say they wanted? That's my question. I don't really support it fully, but hey, what can we do? Because at this point I feel like we've spoken, but we're not being listened to.
Alongside the DA, Ramaphosa has made space for 5 other coalition parties in his cabinet. But now that the wrangling over portfolios is over, the government faces the more daunting task of governing. That's in the face of a struggling economy, crumbling roads and power stations, and high unemployment. Whether the coalition of former enemies can improve on the ANC's record may depend, analysts have said, on the extent to which they can set aside their ideological differences.